So it blows my mind that we allow protesters to D.C. Not only to D.C. like we saw in J6, but we actually see some that are saying death to America. Signs of jihad held up. All the while, you know where the police chief was? He was in a pride march just a few blocks away while they were dancing provocatively. Several people dancing provocatively in front of children. What has happened? It's amazing. The flag waving people for J6 are the ones that get arrested and put in years of prison, while we have others lighting flags on fire and putting graffiti all over our history. Let's talk about it today. Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe. Hopefully everything that we share is not meant to make you panic or worry, but to proactively push you in the right direction to say, you know what, let's find a commonality. Let's find common sense approaches and wisdom as we try to raise our family in this crazy world that we live in. Now, let's talk about Washington, D.C. D.C., for instance, the same place where crime is going nuts is our national capital. There was 2 or 3 aides that just got robbed over the last few weeks of congressmen. You know why? Because there is a pro-crime way of looking at law. They want to arrest the things that are going on. Now, we won't talk about J6 and how we have literally 79, 78, 54, 60-year-old people who are walking in the Capitol who were waving American flags who are now still rotting in jail and prison. For people who were trying to show patriotic ways, now you can like that or not, but you can't tell me that you like what's going on in our Capitol today. I'm going to read a story. There's Palestinian protesters at the Capitol. Not only that, you have pride events going down the road, and not one person has really been taken and put in captivity. Not one person has been arrested. Let's talk about what they've done. Thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters and activists are lighting off smoke bombs, flares, as they surround the White House. Now, the White House knew that this was coming. You know what they did? They started putting up extra barricades. It's amazing how we can't build a border fence, but we can put barricades around property where important people are. It blows my mind. But they put up barricades to protect this area, which I agree. I think there should be barricades, but I also agree there should be a fence at the border. Currently, D.C. Metro Police are on high alert as hundreds of thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters and activists have gathered outside the White House in Washington, D.C. as they light up smoke bombs, flares, and they protest for Palestine, planning to surround the whole White House. Don't we find that crazy? Police have deployed mason to the crowds, and crews have erected large anti-scale fences for the White House. However, no one has been arrested. This is where I'm going to make a big pushback. I thought it was wrong to show any goriness or any kind of bloody situation like they used to do with Trump with his head and all that. That was too much. I think it's too much for them to do towards Biden or any other liberal congressman. I think that's a wrong approach. But guess what these people are doing? From bloody Biden heads to the Code Pete war criminal display. It gets heated outside as people chant Free Palestine, holding up a bloody head of our president. Now, I'm not taking up for our president, but what I'm saying is no one is calling their hand at it because it's against Palestinian people and the people who are standing with pride and the leftist agenda. How far are they going to let this go? How far are they going to let D.C. fall and not arrest these people when they're literally showing not only remorse, not only showing protest, they're actually showing true and utter hate. Death to America, wants to form jihadi in America, and wants to hold up the head of Biden bloody. Now, you can't find this amusing or just protesting. This is a dangerous precedent we're setting, especially when a few years back there was people waving flags and they get arrested for it. New York City, people just put a Trump banner out and got arrested for it. People in colleges are getting their stuff taken from them because they hold American flag up. However, we can say death to America and praise jihadi ways and hold up cutouts and pieces of decapitation of our politicians in front of the White House. Democrat or Republican, you can't say that's good for America. Before we go any further and talk about this craziness in DC, a word from our sponsors of today. My new morning ritual, mud water. Love this stuff. I actually started using mud water, and it's kind of an afternoon treat. I really didn't use it in the mornings because I still like my coffee. You know, coffee, and I enjoyed coffee and it gave me a great caffeine boost, but I got jitters. I felt a little tingly the rest of the day, and then I kind of crashed a little bit further into the day. Instead of drinking coffee just in the mornings and mud water in the afternoons, why don't we just try mud waters as the new morning ritual? Well, I started it and I really like it. It's all the benefits of coffee and all the benefits of caffeine without having the burned out buzz and jitters and the crash at the end of the day. It's made up of all the things that we personally need. Some of the best mushrooms there are when it comes to our health, our immunity, and also our brain health. You read right there, it's all organic, it's all natural. It's got masala chai, cacao, lion's mane, cordyceps, chaga, reishi, cinnamon, turmeric, and Himalayan salt. There's a lot of things that we take in that has tons of caffeine, but actually it's not really good for our bodies. And I've been guilty of that. Drinking a lot of energy drinks that just give you just a great feeling at first and then just a burnout. Let mud water be not only your morning routine, but be the fulfiller of good quality energy that will not let you down. You have lion's mane for focus. You have cordyceps for the natural energy. Chaga and reishi mushrooms for immune health. Organic, gluten-free, vegan, non-GMO, kosher, and for any other diet that you're on, Whole30, this could be a great additive for any diet. And on the canister, it has a mud latte. I've gotten to where I've enjoyed this little mud latte. I use the little frother that they give you. When you subscribe to Mud Water, you get a little frother, and you can utilize that in making a good quality barista-style coffee, but not coffee. Mud water, mud latte, try it out. That's actually probably the best way that I actually like drinking it, is making it almost like my morning latte. Mud Water is hooking up all the ones that are watching today with a special offer. If you go to mudwater.com/themax, not only do you get a $20 off your Mud Water subscription, you get a free frother with your packet. That's Mudwater, mudwtr.com/themax. Link is in the description. Check them out. Phenomenal product. They've been with me for a while, and I really enjoy the energy it gives me without the jitters. Try this as your new morning routine. Mud water. Footage shows that protesters getting rowdy, and even when police tried to make arrest, it was massive pushback, massive blowback. So this rally is kicking off. You know where the Department of Homeland Security and the police chief of DC was? While the Department of Homeland Security was marching in the Pride Parade, DC is falling to pieces. There are signs, and if you can go on Twitter, you can look at Timcast, where there literally is DHS signs and all this elected officials walking in the Pride Parade. U.S. dollars should not be funding this divisive rhetoric, especially in front of minors. Guess what? The parade kept on going, and then there was just very much filth dancing in front of children at this parade. Look at the degeneracy going on. You have chants of death to America. You have where they want to destroy America, and then on the other side you see complete and utter degeneracy in front of our children. And the elected officials are nowhere to be found. This is why I say you got to be careful of law enforcement and our leaders, because what happens is they're only enforcing what the policies are for the town. So for instance, my town, we have a bunch of conservative sheriffs and policemen, and they tend to do a phenomenal job. And most conservative towns will probably say the same thing. But if you have a liberal body that has elected or put in the leadership of those police or those leaderships, guess what happens? You get enforcement the wrong way. And that's what you're having right here in DC. No crime is being taken serious. No one's actually, the people that's raising flags, they're hauling them off in the car. However, they're literally destroying our monuments. They're literally holding the heads of our elected officials up bloody, and they're saying jihadi death to America. Do we honestly believe they're out there just doing a friendly protest? I don't see any American flags whatsoever, not one. So what are they protesting, and why are we giving them the freedom to protest in America about a country that they know nothing about? And how most of these people that's protesting would actually get killed over there because of the things they stand for. We need to start telling this story. The problem is you have politicians, spineless, not only Democrats but Republicans, who will not talk about it, and who they'll only use the talking points. They'll say, well, they're just destroying things, destroying monuments in history. They won't talk about the policies and the morals and the obligations. And a conservative American says, what have we lost? We've lost traditional American values. And if we keep losing, what is actually happening is we're turning this nation into the same European crap hole that most of Europe has been in. And now you're seeing a resurgence where people are saying, I'm tired of this leftist policy. They're getting rid of all their leftist leaders over in Europe. Look at all these elections. Every one of those are being won by people like the Trumps, like Millet, like Bukele, where they're saying, I'm tired of this. We need to see that pendulum swing. And not only swing, we need to see it actually be proactive in bringing traditional views and values and morals and obligations back to America and these other countries. We shouldn't have, degenerate dancing in front of our children and us holding a sign up that pride. It's amazing that the rainbow was used as a sign of peace in a time of a promise from God, and we've turned around as something that's so spiteful and so against godly ways as a pride. We even call it pride. That's a terrible word that none of us should be. We should be prideful. And it's sad that we have our elected officials marching in that parade as the Capitol is literally having smoke and flames and graffiti put all over our history. That should be what we should arrest people for, not stand up there waving a flag to America. And here's the thing. Biden and his administration knew that this was going. So they helped, I'm not going to say they helped orchestrate it. What I'm saying though is they knew it was planned because they put up a monster fence to pretty much control this protest. Now, it doesn't matter that they're not breaching the White House. The fact that they're literally chanting threats to Americans' leadership, don't you think that crosses the line of freedom of speech? I've told you a long time ago, even as a Republican conservative, I would never say that something should happen to Biden or to Obama or anybody like that, because that is the wrong approach. That is the wrong approach. We should not be chanting death to someone. That is wrong. And we've lost civility here, and we've lost traditional morals and values in our country to where now no one knows what free speech is, but also no one knows what is allowed or not. It's a double standard, because if conservatives go up there and wave a flag of America and talk about how they support Trump and not Biden, they get ran off. Just like happened in New York. This just happened in New York, where they didn't do anything wrong other than put a big banner out that said American flag, thin blue line, and had Trump's name on it, and they were the ones arrested while these degenerate parades were going on. And while this, literally, they were throwing stuff on the White House lawn and ruining all these historical monuments. They were going to surround the White House and say death to America and that America needs jihad. But it's all honest. It's all just humble people trying to bring awareness. That's not what protesting is. That is a threat to our government. And if you go and look at the pictures, most of these people, most of these protests, especially the ones that organized it, arrived in big buses. Mask on, got their flags ready. Why do we have people who thrive off trying to destroy America? Here's what I mean. When we see people like, if it be, these big foundations that pays for these protesters to go in and cause destabilization, shouldn't we kick that billionaire out? Shouldn't we allow them not to be able to even market themselves here in America, like Soros? He's paying for this to take place, to chant death to America, to destabilize our government. Don't you think the people that organize this should be kicked out of America if there is problems? Shouldn't they not be able to spend money in America? Should they not be able to be a resident of America? Especially when they are trying, proactively to destroy our government. But no, he's a big donor to the Democratic platform, so therefore they're not going to do anything to him. They're not going to touch him. But if you look at the funding of this, there's people arriving on buses in droves, signs everywhere, flags everywhere. They didn't pay for any of that. Who paid for all that chartered bus? It wasn't these protesters. It was the same foundations and the same billionaires who want to destroy democracy and destabilize our country, all for their glory, because what they're going to do is basically they're going to hedge and bet against America and our currency, and that will help them make more billions for their pushes. Destabilizing countries to make a one world government is exactly what they're wanting, and this is a push for it. That's what mass migration does. They don't assimilate, so therefore people come in and try to actually destroy the country that has given them asylum. That's why you cannot keep this border open, because this is what happens. I bet you money, I don't know this for a fact, I'm just given a hypothesis. I bet you 90% of those people that were up there saying death to America, holding our president's head, bloody head, in front of the White House, I bet 90% of them are not American citizens. And if they are, I bet they're newly American citizens. And I bet you they're paid to do what they're doing. I'd love for someone to actually do a true documentation of that and actually see who is really American citizens there and who's illegal and who are allowing to be illegal. You know, the New York March I was telling you about a few videos ago, that was all illegal immigrants. Every one of the ones marching to abolish ICE were all illegal immigrants. And we're just allowing it to happen on our streets. But you put a flag up, buddy, you're going to jail. What a double standard. And it's amazing that the Democratic platform keeps trying to be more radical and keeps trying to promote this. And all the while, it's actually coming back and blowing up in their face. Did you see Philadelphia last week? A pro-Palestinian, a pro-Pride parade basically clashed, and then all-out brawl broke out. I thought it was actually kind of funny because you showed two platforms to the Democrats to try to, push, and both of them, they don't work together. They're not ceremoniously together. It actually caused a major problem. So I like to see that because it shows people the real thing that's going on. It shows people exactly what this party stands for. They can build walls around their homes, build walls around certain things that they're at. However, they don't want to close the border because it hurts their narrative. And now you're starting to see it blow up in their face. And I hope that's why you're seeing Europe turn around. I hope that's why you will see Trump win. Not that he's some Superman, but that he can change and get some momentum going for American truth and prosperity again, and freedom and liberty, and that we can be, if you want to say this, prideful in America. Not overly prideful, but just have a pride, a thankfulness, not take for granted the blessings we have here. And that would be amazing. Because the White House is allowing those people, those protesters, to stand right outside their gate and threaten America. And no one at J6 did that. That's what's sad. Let me know your thoughts. God bless.